Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's those guys. I'm Matt. I cried like a baby. Who are you? Who's on the other end of this?
Hi, I'm Tristan Walter.
Yeah, you fucking had the ability. Yeah, no, you're gonna stand right there. You want to materialize a chair? Take a fucking seat. All right, I had the misfortune of watching this sad episode literally it ended 3 minutes before we got on the air to talk about it. By the way, today we're talking about Doctor Who Series 11, episodes 8 and 9. And you, Tristan, had the opportunity to see this episode not when it aired, or did you see it when it aired?
No, not when it aired.
Okay. No, because I don't remember if you saw it with Anthony or you saw it with your mom. Because you saw episode 9 with your mother. Actually, no, yeah, right, episode 9. So you saw that with your mother, which I'm sure was a sad event, but you were with family. I was sitting here with steak, rice, beans, and tears.
But
the Nan.
Tears don't go with
She was
steak,
there.
Matt.
What'd you say?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why do you think I'm crying? Because of the dad? Fuck him. He should have died. Who gives a fuck about the dad? No, I'm crying because literally we have this episode where she comes back. Granted, not long enough to really trick us, which is nice because I don't want it to be like a whole ruse that it's like, oh no, as you get obviously. I like how, in a way, they kind of understand, even though there's new people watching and they know that there are new fans watching, some young, some old, still new fans in general, they were still everyone's going to know that it's not really her, so let's not even try.
Right,
Because that's the one thing about Doctor Who over the years, that after a while I'm like, listen, I don't care how new a fan is. I don't think they're really sitting there we're hoping. Believe me, I was hoping that, not that she would come back, but it would be her not knowing that she's actually part of the consciousness. I was hoping, but at the end, it's no, she really was just fake.
Part of the consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah, and she knew it. Because it was only about keeping him there. Because if she didn't realize that she was part of the consciousness, but she was still her, she would have been let's go save Ryan, and then she couldn't leave. But it was not. But it was not her in any way.
Right. Well, that's the only thing.
God.
Yeah, that's the only thing that got Grant to realize. Graham. Yeah. That's not you. That's not you at all. You just told me no to saving your own grandson. There's no way in hell that's you.
Yeah. By the way, Episode 8 might, even though there are some issues, I'll admit, it might be my favorite out of every episode this season. And let me explain why. Every episode, I'm not saying that in every episode there wasn't at least a little bit of horror somewhere or another, or there weren't scary moments. It's Doctor Who. It's going to be there.
Right. Yeah.
But I think the reason why I loved episode 8 so much, even though I did, obviously we hate the fact that there's sexism only because it's sexism. Even though it's accurate for the time period, it's still I'm not rooting for sexism here. But the reason why I enjoyed it is because it truly felt like a story that we usually get maybe once per series of the Doctor truly being in a helpless situation. And you could argue that was when they were on the ship with the not adipose. But the thing is with little adipose with teeth. Even though I understand that, even though yes, they were kind of out of control, there was still a sense of focus that one thing had to lead to another in the time frame. So it always felt like the Doctor was in control in some way. Maybe because also she was very confident. But in this episode, it felt actually refreshing to have a not even just a monster, but just a general force and multiple different forces that were stopping and impeding the Doctor from doing what the Doctor does. Because that, again, it can happen once every series, but I don't know. I feel as if even in something like Kerblam, which was very scary with the when we thought it was the robots were the villains. I admit, yes, very scary, no doubt about it. But it still felt like the Doctor had a plan, even though it's like, Doctor, do you have a plan? Yeah, I'll think of something. There was a sense of whimsy to it, like, oh, Doctor, don't worry, you'll be fine. But in this episode, it truly felt like the Doctor was fucked from many different angles at many different times.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoyed about this episode, is that it just felt like the Doctor and the companions, in a way, were helpless and just trying to survive. Which is something that I don't think, yes, you could argue, but the first episode, weren't they trying to survive? But again, there was this air of, we're finding clues and, we're trying to, in this case, I don't know, because in the first episode, too, it was mostly that it was pretty much just that one guy getting hunted. Oh, we have to save this one guy. But in this case, it was, no, the Doctor is going to be killed.
Right.
Or just in general, the whole town is going to be wiped off the face of the map. And it was just, and also mixed in with the zombies, which even though it came out in November, I think you and I talked about this, this series had to be delayed by a month.
Right.
Because you and I, when we watched the first episode and we did the podcast on it, they said the date, and it was a month behind the actual date that it aired. And I'm like, do you remember when in Series 5 when Smith was like, June 26th, he found out the code, the day the world's going to end? June 26th was the day the episode aired. If it didn't air on June 26th, that would have been awkward. If it aired in July, I would have been like, what? So in this case, I'm wondering if it was a month off, because even though Episode 9 was, a little spoopy here and there, Episode 8 was the perfect Halloween episode. And it aired in late November.
Right.
Coincidence?
Possible.
I think not. I think not. No, but it really was a very spooky episode to kind of be slotted at this time. Also, very odd how things, is it just me or did it feel like things rev up out of nowhere? We don't have a two-parter or a three-parter, but I'm sitting here, I don't have tea, but imagine me with tea. I'm sitting here with my tea. I'm just I wonder what zany adventures the Doctor is going to get into this time. Witchcraft, Satan, murder. And I'm like, that's
oh.
Can we just go back to something chill like capitalism? Could we just go back to something chill? Oh, God, because corporatism. Can we just go back to something, satanic technically, but under a different name? Could we please? My God. By the way, so King James, my favorite part of the entire episode, even though I just said the zombies were I love King James so much. He is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I love the actor who plays him. Please tell me you know who Alan Cummings is, Tristan.
Yeah, I do.
He was Nightcrawler in the second X-Men movie.
Okay.
And he's done a bunch of other things as well. He's just a face that when you see him, you're like, oh, I know who Alan Cummings is. And he's just so charismatic as an actor. And to see him be able to just pick up this role and just run with it.
Yeah, it was great.
It was just beautiful. Because the thing is he's such a good character actor, very much like Daniel Day-Lewis, that when you see him as, or even Gary Oldman, when you see them as characters, you're like, oh, they are these characters. You don't think that's Gary Oldman. I don't think, that's Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. I think that's Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
Have you seen Fifth Element?
Sounds familiar, but not sure.
With Bruce Willis, and it was the one in space, Tristan. It was the one with all the space sci-fi, The Fifth Element. You really haven't even heard of it that hard. It's fine if you haven't seen it, but you're sitting here, the sci-fi nut that you are. and you're like, I think it sounds familiar. Get out of my house, Tristan.
Well, all right.
I want. Okay, you didn't play along. I want everyone to know he's not in my house right now. We're not recording this at my house. But seriously though,
you don't know.
Yeah, right. No, but like, if your computer was in working order, I'd be like, search up. What was that?
I said, let me just step into this broom closet real quick. Just hear the word.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Nothing to see here.
If you were at my house, we'd watch The Fifth Element. It's such a good movie. No,
Okay.
but I feel like you had to have seen it like in passing. It's the one with Bruce Willis, the woman that her character has orange hair and she's an alien. Gary Oldman is in it. Also, Dennis. No, crap. I can't think of. Oh God, crap! I forgot his name. No, because he plays a very eccentric. He's not gay, but he's very eccentric fashion designer, and he has like a yellow pompadour.
Right.
Now,
Oh, God.
just saying, I love it. Just saying his character, you're like, now, because I know you've at least seen memes and shit.
Yeah.
There you go. Immediately, you're like, oh God, it's all coming back to you now. But anyway, the point though is that they're such great character actors that they can just kind of become these characters. You're like, yeah, no, that's not, like, I didn't even realize that was Alan Cummings. I knew the face and the eyes, but I was like, I don't know who this is. And then I looked him up, and I was like, oh, crap. Like, because he just truly felt like he was this King James character.
Right, yeah.
And it was amazing. So I loved him as King James. I know James was a dick, so we're not supposed to love him, but I think what's interesting is showing how the Doctor kind of got through to him. And also, at the time that they were in, not that I'm excusing his sexism, but the idea that he says, oh, I can't trust anyone. It's like, yeah, you're at a time when it's like, oh, yeah, my mother killed my dad, and then my mom was beheaded. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
royalty, am I right?
Yeah, right? Where you had Ryan say his thing, and he was like, yeah, no, yours is worse. Like,
yeah, you're right, yours is worse.
yeah.
Oh, God.
But also just his eccentricities, I think, is what really got to me, where he's just like, you know, like for a second, he's just like, yeah, and, you know, and I'm happy that you guys are here. Also, here are my tools to take down emissaries of the devil. And it's just like, all right, cool,
and
man.
also the various body parts I have from my victims. I mean, subjects. I mean, Satan.
No, that's the thing. Like, and I just love how like everything was Satan. Like a soft fart. Was that Satan in the distance? Like, no, I pooted. Like, shut the fuck up. Like it's beautiful. Like everything was Satan, and it was great to kind of have the Doctor is not only her logic, but also everyone else kind of coming to this with a sense of trying to. It's not even like they're trying to like disprove religion. It's just this idea that like, hey, listen, these are actual bad guys. They're in front of you. They're aliens from the stars. But it's funny because when you say from the stars, it's like you're trying to say it's from heaven. But you know who fell from the stars? Lucifer. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing that makes so much sense to them, and it's such a good leap.
Yeah, true.
No, but to be fair, the second I gotta be fair. The second the Doctor pulled out the sonic screwdriver, I was like, they're gonna say it's a wand. She's a witch now.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God!
I mean,
but anyway,
honestly, I'm surprised it took as long as it did for them to be like, the Doctor's a witch. I'm like, wow, we lasted a lot longer than I thought we were going to. I mean, you know, thank you, Psychic Paper, but still.
Unless like you're giving them credit, like, good job, you fucked up, but not that badly.
Badly as I thought you were going to. Granted, it's still,
No. You know what it is, dude? It's because she had the psychic paper. But how interesting is it? Shows psychic paper to a woman. Oh, you're the one in charge. Shows psychic paper to a man like King James. Oh, you're the second in command. Which means that you, older gentleman, must be the one in charge. And it's like, you motherfucker.
And Graham's just like, okay, Doc, I don't agree with him, but I'm going to roll with this because that's how the plan's going. So I'm just going to roll with this.
I know. It was just so funny because it's just like, I don't know what to do. Graham's like, I don't know. But no, I think that another thing, too, is that for me, I enjoyed the fact that, like, yes, you know, you could argue the twist was, like, there's always a twist in these episodes. I don't know why this series of Doctor Who, maybe they've had it before and I've never noticed, but, like, but it feels like every single episode it's like there's a big bad twist. Granted. Well, when I say the big bad twist, I was like, oh, is the grandma going to be a witch? No. Oh, is King James going to be, not a witch, but, like, is the devil going to be, like, under the guise of King James? No.
Right.
Oh, then what is it? Well, part of the alien thing, mud that's infecting everyone, is actually in this woman, and that's kind of what makes her think, oh, I've been infected by the devil, so I'm going to go hard on everyone else and try to make them perish so that the suspicion will be off me. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, and I'm not saying that actually didn't happen back in the day, so I knew someone was pushing to take suspicion off of themselves. I just didn't know who it was. So I should have known that it was her, to be fair. But the reason why I say it's a twist, like other episodes, is because, again, we weren't expecting that she was mud. I was expecting that she was an actual witch for a bit, because it's Doctor Who. We've had witches before, via technology, but we've had witches before. I mean, there were witches in Shakespeare.
Yeah. Yeah, the Canaanites? I think that's what they were.
I don't remember. But they were essentially witches. And Shakespeare was like, oh, damn. Just like that. That's exactly what he said. So what I'm trying to get at here, though, Tristan, is I don't know why every single episode seemingly has to have a twist that it's like, Matt, no, it doesn't. It's like, but it kind of does, though. Where it's just like, you're the villain. Actually, we're the protectors. You're the villain. Actually, we're being used. You're the villain. Like, I think maybe like the first episode where it's like, you're the villain. And he's like, guilty as fucking charged, dude. I have teeth in my face.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
First clue?
Yeah, I think like the first episode, and then, you know, Greaser, who, granted, there was a twist like, oh, he can't kill them, but at least he was like, hey, I am the villain. Don't get me wrong, I'm a villain. But also at the same time, it's like, but so is racism. So he kind of co-starred that one. But you see what I mean, though, right? Like, it seems like most of these episodes have had some kind of twist, but thankfully in this one, even though the twist was prevalent, it didn't take away from them, because I was worried it was going to actually be a revenge plot thing.
Right.
And it's going to be like, even though they're angry, you murdered all of them, so you should say you're sorry. But also, like, don't murder her, though. And, like, that was going to be the end. It's like, no, she got possessed by essentially the queen of these aliens, and I was actually very excited about that. Not by the way, the design of the tree, like, on her face and everything was beautiful. And the like, not even Leviathan, the Cthulhu-type tentacle coming from the tree was also really cool as well. So I was, even though, like, the CG was a little, you know, it was low budget, but still I respected it and I appreciated what they were trying to do there, especially coming from the ground. It really does make it look like it's just like with that episode with Shakespeare where it's like, they're witches. No, they're not, they're aliens. They're flying around on broomsticks. Look, I fucking get it, but stop. In this one it's like, where in this one it's like, they're
explain.
They're not the devil. Really? They've came from the ground. They're reanimated dead.
Don't say.
Yeah. No, but it's like they're coming at us. They wish to murder us and make us part of their undead army. How are they not made of magic? And it's like, look, I get it.
Well, all right.
I wonder if, like, during this entire episode, Satan's phone was just going off the hook. Like, Satan has to, like,
impersonate you again, sir. Oh, me, damn it.
Satan has to, like, go to a meeting of, like, stockholders. Look, I understand what's going on with the brand, but I can assure you this is not Satan Co.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, come on.
Like, in this. I don't even know what this town is called.
I had no hand in this, and not a left hand either. Look, right here. See? No hand in this at all. Just, I would really, but for anyone that's like, how is Satan having a corporate meeting, and how, well, where do you think they're all going? Just, that's where all the, that's not all, but like, that's where the stockholders are, and that's where the lawyer, where do you think they're going? It just makes sense to have a corporation in hell. Heaven's way too hippie, way too free market.
And the commute would be terrible. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. Be like hell. Oh, I loved how Yaz was like, I just said hell out loud. Let me really make sure I reiterate. In times of witches, let me make sure I reiterate.
Wait, that's yeah. let me try that again real quick.
Yeah. Something else that I found interesting. Even though I don't have U.S. ratings, because here's the thing, right? So some of you guys listening to this, I hope you guys know that we also have Keikaku Corner on our YouTube channel, Those Guys on the Radio as well, and also you can get the MP3, the full episodes, over at our Patreon, patreon.com/TGProductions, depending on what tier you give to. Now, why did I just plug that, Matt? Seriously. But let me explain. You and I, Tristan, talked about this episode being leaked online by Amazon. Yeah. Because instead of them flicking the switch to have Kerblam, which you and I said, instead of them flicking the switch for Kablam, they actually flicked the switch for this episode, and I assume that the BBC has given them every single episode so they can easily put them up on a weekly basis without having some creepy, like weird, not creepy, but like a creepy because I'm seeing a zombie on screen right now, but a weird deadline of like, oh, hey, so can you send it to me by Wednesday so we can upload this? Like, no, why would you not trust Amazon? Although apparently when they flick your fucking switch wrong, but like, why would you not trust Amazon? So I was wondering if the ratings were going to suffer because of it, because right. I don't know if the Amazon UK also has Amazon Video, because I know that people were saying that they were experiencing this issue, but I don't know if this was US-based or UK-based. Either way, I want to see if ratings dipped. Even though we only have access to UK ratings, I was still wondering if perhaps people looked at the episode beforehand, said, awesome, I can't believe I saw that, that was amazing. Anyway, not watching it on TV when it comes out. Right. And I was curious, like, would the Witchfinders, would it suffer? And interestingly enough, while the ratings did decrease, it's been decreasing the entire season. Now, of course, alarmists are going to be like, see, we told you, lady bits. But, again, every series, for the most part, has decreased in ratings as every episode went on. But looking at this one in particular, though, because the ratings that wow, holy shit, Porky Pig, how you doing? I think I'm possessed by Porky Pig. Look, but no, but the ratings decrease was not that bad. Where episode 7.46 was episode 7, right? And again, this is UK numbers, 7.46. The decrease to episode 8 was 7.21. So yes, thousands, don't get me wrong, but and to be fair, the decrease between 6 and 7 was 0.2. So I'll admit, you might be thinking, well, Matt, damn, that's also sadly we don't have the ratings for episode 9. I want to see if they went up. Crap. This sucks because we waited. We're doing this on a Tuesday, technically Wednesday. We waited long enough, damn it. Well, you'll have to hear us report on it when we do when we talk about Doctor Who Series 11, Episode 9 next week, because I really am interested in seeing if the ratings really did decrease over the episode being quote-unquote leaked. Because for all we know, Tristan, people were like, I could see it for 5 minutes and then it was blocked, Yeah. So we don't, all we know from what I've read is, oh shit, it was online, and people were like, oh shit. That's literally what we heard. We didn't hear like anyone watched it to completion, that so many people watched it that, there's like a giant fight between like the BBC and Amazon, Godzilla v. King Kong style. I don't know. All I know is that the ratings so far, well, they have decreased. And it's interesting because you could argue they've decreased a lot, but to be fair, the first episode was also astronomically high up, like ratings-wise in the UK, compared to anything in the series previous, with Capaldi. And
right.
I love Capaldi, and frankly, I loved most of that series. But when you look at episode 1 of this series of Doctor Who, it got nearly 11 million viewers, 10.96, which
right.
I'm pretty sure was up by 3 million compared to the last series, but I'll check that right now. Anyway, Tristan, I've been talking for far too long, and you've been talking too, but mostly me. As I'm looking up these ratings, I would like to ask you, Tristan, what did you think about The Witchfinders, or even about episode 9?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess it's kind of weird for me because it's one of those episodes where you love to hate the bad guy kind of thing. Like, King James was an asshole, but also still quirky enough that you're like, he's funny, but I know I shouldn't like you.
Yeah. Most def.
So,
oh, God. I need water.
It was a good episode in the sense of, well, there's the mud now. It's taking over Matt. All according to Keikaku.
Pretty much. So, by the way, 5.30 is what the Dr. Falls got.
Huh.
So, yeah, more than double.
Damn.
Or about double, rather, because 5.30. And the first episode of that series, by the way, the one where you think, like, oh, this one is going to get the most amount, because no shit, right? It's the first episode. It actually ended up getting 6.68 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And now, again, that's nothing to cry home about, especially because you and I talk about all the time the fact that since we're not privy to Amazon numbers and we're not privy to iTunes numbers, including all of those, I mean, heck, I'm pretty sure you can buy Doctor Who series on the PS4. So if someone actually decides to do that, they're like, you know, I don't have cable anymore. I don't really watch TV. I just want to watch Doctor Who. And they look at and I want to watch it digitally because I don't care about owning physical media. Oh, it's on the PS4 for $25 for the entire series? All right, click.
True.
And then, like, even though it sounds crazy to you and I, there's so many different ways, so many different revenue streams for shows like this because people actually care enough to purchase it.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at here is that we don't know how much money it's making. So even during Capaldi's run, even with that low number in Series 10, we don't know if, like, DVD sales, Blu-ray sales in the U.S. and, of course, in the U.K. as well, and if other ways to get it, like iTunes, fucking what else? Just a bunch of other ways to get it, like Amazon, essentially, too. But, like, a bunch of different ways to get it. They could be like, no, we're doing just fine. We're sitting pretty. We're good. But it is interesting, though, how looking at the numbers for Series 11, how I don't know where other people are getting their numbers from, but they're saying that it's the lowest in years and that it's spelling the end of Doctor Who, despite the fact that it's up a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to last year. Christmas Special did well, of course, 7.92, but again, people were most likely, well, again, because Christmas Specials usually do well, and also, of course, you'd imagine that a Christmas Special would do well because guess what? It's Christmas. Also, the fact that Capaldi is regenerating.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so you hated King James, which is fair. Understandable. I'm not going to be like, how dare you, Tristan. Understandable. Now, who do you hate more, King James or the dad? Because I got to be honest, I think I hate the dad more.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what it's like to lose. Like, I know what it's like to lose a loved one, but not someone that I was romantically interested with. And like a wife or like, I don't know what it's like to lose a significant other. I don't, right? In that way. But what I do know, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts, that if I had a child, I would care more about that child than I would a dead spouse.
Right.
Especially because here's where, and I know, like, I shouldn't, like, I'm not trying to feel sorry for her, and I'm not trying to put her condition at the forefront because, and I'm sorry if anyone listening thinks that I'm doing that, but I just have to be real with you guys. She's fucking blind, too. Holy shit, you dick.
Right.
Fucking
the idea
take care of your
he put
blind kid.
Yeah, the speaker is out to make monster calls to make her scared to stay in the house and not go out into the hills.
Great.
And it's like,
okay.
and what about all the shit in the shed? It's like bear traps. Yeah, there are bears. Those could actually hurt her. I left those for, defense. It's like, are you fucking insane?
Here's the thing. Okay, if he stayed with her, I'd actually understand why the monster calls make sense. I know it's like, Matt, are you fucking serious? But I would worry about my blind 6-year-old getting eaten by bears.
I don't think she was that young either. I thought she was
but
like
she's been living with
12.
him but she's been living with him for years. And the mom.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, she wasn't at the time. She was a teenager. The dad said it. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, I don't know when he lost the mom, although she said you haven't been well since
right.
mom died, so maybe she died recently. But, like, I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
if she died, like, years ago, then it's like, how do I make sure my 6-year-old doesn't wander off in the woods and get eaten by a bear? The monster call is only a problem to me because it's being used as a form of child care. Like, oh, I'm going to go see my dead wife that's probably not real, and I actually could die in here potentially because this shit's weird. Like, hell, I could be trapped in here forever for all I know, but she's a teenager.
Yeah, like how the hell
fine.
did he even get through the buffer zone to begin with? That's what I
probably
want to know.
ran. Probably ran.
Probably.
Like a motherfucker.
But
of course, that's another plot thing that we could say that. Hey, that's something that we're not big fans of. Understandable. But anyway, please go on.
What was it? Oh, yeah. I feel like it was only a few months that she was actually gone. I don't know if they actually said it out loud. I thought they said it, but
maybe I could swear they
did.
But who knows?
Because when they were talking about when they moved from the city up to the country. I thought they mentioned it then, but yeah.
Oh, that's why they did it. Okay, right. Yeah, no, either way, though, I was just really... what I did like, though, is that I'm pretty sure, even though I can't find much information on her actress, I'm pretty sure she's actually blind, the actress.
Right, yeah.
Which, if so, wonderful. Because isn't it frustrating, and I know like you and I aren't blind, but still, isn't it frustrating, like when you're sitting there watching a show or something, and it's someone trying to pretend to be blind? Like, it's a bit different than like watching Daredevil.
Yeah.
Where like it's because he's trying to pretend like he's a superhero who isn't necessarily blind in the traditional sense. That's a bit different, but like there's certain shows and stuff like that where it's like, hey, so and so's in a wheelchair, and it's like, why is someone why is this person playing this character not actually in a wheelchair? It's like, unless you really try hard to say, like, no, but you have to understand, we're doing flashbacks where he can walk. It's just like, but still, like, I feel like you don't need to see his legs moving, or her, or whomever. Like, you can just have someone be in a wheelchair, and that's okay. Like the actor, And that happens throughout, like, it's not just in that one instance, that one scenario. It happens a bunch of other times in media as well. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. So I was actually really happy that the actress was blind. Because it's like, thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's just like, why would you have, like, this little girl trying to fake that? And it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, I don't know, it just made sense to me. In a good way. It's just like, just give her a job. She wants to act. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, if she was literally, like, she is blind. She does not have sight. This is the one role she's made for. And other casting directors would be like, but how about someone who could see? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, I mean, what can we do? There aren't a lot of blind actors and actresses out there. It's like, well, yeah, because if there's a chance to have a character, you end up putting in someone who can see.
Right.
So, yeah. And again, her seeing was literally, like, her not seeing was so integral that, she's not Daredevil. Why not have it be someone who actually is blind, who knows some of the tells? Not the tells. Well, I mean, you could say it's tell, I guess. I'm using the wrong word. But some of the signs that someone's blind, like holding onto the walls to try to paint a picture of what's going on. actually
Right.
being shocked when like Ryan pulls her around. Granted, they told her, "Hey, Ryan's about to pull you around," but like still like being shocked because like, okay, I know it's coming soon. Shit, it's happening right now. Right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like that's just my take on it. I'm not saying that like you could never have someone take on the role of a blind person again if they're not blind. It's just like if you can, why not?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so that I enjoyed. What there was something else that came to mind as well. Maybe not episode. No, I'm thinking it was episode 8 or 9. Yeah, it was. I just think I really enjoyed episode 8 as much as I did because it just felt like a horror that we haven't seen in this series thus far. 9 was a bit mixed for me, and I think you felt similarly. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, actually, no. I remember why you were mixed. You told me this over the phone. You were mixed because you thought 9 was going to be part 1 to a 2-parter.
I mean, maybe not necessarily part of a 2-parter, although I guess that would make the most sense. But yeah, with this new series, I know they've wanted to do, not bring back any old enemies, and they wanted new cast and to do things fresh, and I'm totally on board with that. But it feels like even with how Classic Who didn't have an overarching story for, a series or a Doctor, each arc was a 5-part story. So each story that was told had its own, arc, basically. And then with New Who, it's basically there's been a big lead up to the end of the season. A big enemy or some big event. And in this one, it just felt like we were doing one-offs the entire series because the next episode, unless it then ties into the New Year's special, which would be interesting, nothing's connected together so far. At least nothing that I've been able to pick up on.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying that we need to have an overarching, like, Mr. Saxton or Bad Wolf thing. I'm not saying we need that necessarily, but I would have preferred at the very least a 2-parter to wrap things up because I do think that, I don't know, I think that that's just something that to me feels like Doctor Who, and I'm okay with breaking a bunch of different Doctor Who conventions. I'm so happy that we haven't had a Doctor Who villain that we've seen in the past over this series. I'm happy that we're getting new things, that it feels fresh, it feels different. We're even on a different part of Earth, a different part of the UK. But still, I enjoyed that we've been doing things that have been a bit different, focusing more on natural terrors given steroids instead of only aliens all the time. Or making making things not as what they appear to be or not what they seem. Granted, I think it's been happening too much, but still, I'm okay with things to me that feel different because yes, Doctor Who needed a change up, and I'm okay with that change or that shift. My issue is that it's not even like we need to see like the Greaser or anything, or we need to like see seemingly the King. I think he's royalty in episode 2, the one who was running that death game, or even the I don't remember his name, or we don't even need to see the warrior race with teeth on their face. Like we don't need to see any of them. It's fine to me. We don't have to have one big thing popping up. We don't need to have like Kerblam in the future or the start of Kerblam or anything. I just would have liked if this was a big deal of some type in a 2-episode format, and there would have been this big twist that makes us, or some big thing at the end of the first part that makes you go, oh shit, I need to watch the finale. This is big. This is going to be rough.
Right, yeah.
So
I kind of miss, like, I feel a little bit differently in the sense that I wish one of those enemies was a little bit bigger and that they were making a return. Because, I don't know, at least for me, it felt like each Doctor had their own enemy that was kind of, like, it was a classic enemy that reappeared, but, like, I don't know, it felt important to that Doctor specifically at that time. Like 9 was Daleks, 10 was Cybermen, 11 was Weeping Angels, or the Silence.
But the difference is, though, and by the way, I do think, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have had one appear. I'm just saying that, like, I'm okay that we didn't. But what I'm saying is, though, is that, and I'm talking about, like, an enemy that's already appeared in the series. But when you talk about Daleks, yes, the Daleks appeared twice in Series 1. But they were also the Daleks from the get-go.
I know, yeah.
With, like, everything that is, like, the Doctor rarely has a new villain that gets introduced and then comes back within the same series. Unless it's an overarching plot thing where it's just like, you know, the one race that gave, you know, Amy a jelly baby. Like, it was a bit like that one, but that was also one of those Bad Wolf things. So I feel like usually it's the Bad Wolf thing becomes the big deal, but there hasn't been one of those, which then at least makes you think, okay, so are we getting someone who just appeared earlier in the season to come back as a villain? Which I'm not saying that wouldn't have been bad. I'm just saying that, like, at the very least you want a two-parter. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes it feel like it's a big deal that everything's ending.
Yeah. Like, I would have liked to see, you know, an alien race or something. Or, you know what, I mean, if it's not, well, okay, I'll say that afterwards. I would like 13 to have a seemingly, you know, larger enemy.
But the thing is,
you know, and it doesn't even have to be a classic monster. I would like to see a new one. That would be cool too.
Right, but how would they have...
But I guess the other thing is...
Yeah.
I guess the other thing would be the only big theme that I could see it running up to being for this finale, for this series, because it seems to be the reoccurring theme, is humanity itself, which I think would be a cool idea too, to see what they would do with that, but I'm not sure if they're even going to do that, really.
Here's the thing, though. So you're saying, hey, I wish there was a bigger villain. We have to be fair, though. The teaser gave us jack and shit. Like the teaser for the next episode.
Right.
It didn't give us anything. All we heard was someone being like, yeah, we've been here because of the war. And then I heard a voice that I could swear sounded like, I think his name is Nicholas Briggs, the guy that voices Daleks, NK9.
Huh.
It sounded like his voice at the end saying, my destiny. And I was like,
yeah.
But and remember, technically Daleks are contractually obligated to be shown at least once every series. No, that's actually in the contract. That's an actual contract thing, if anyone doesn't know. Like, that's legit. That's not like me making a joke about Johnny Young Bosch legally, by the way, bound by law, to be a voice in every anime. It's legal. You can go to jail for it. Like, I'm pretty sure Team 4-Star, they worked on Hells for Sentai Filmworks. That's right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure Johnny Young Bosch is not in that. They're going to go to jail.
Oh, my God.
Like, fair use has protected them for so long, but not having Johnny Young Bosch in that, they're going to jail.
Well,
they had a good run. 10 years?
They had a good run.
They had a good run. No, but seriously, though, all jokes aside, the Daleks are actually supposed to be, unless there's like new contract obligations, or maybe I heard a rumor and it was never substantiated, but I could swear that I remember reading online a while back that Daleks actually were in contract to be in every single series, even in a small cameo. That's why Matt Smith, I think I said this to you last time on the podcast, that's why Matt Smith once said hello to like a Dalek stock that was like scared of him.
Right.
That was the one appearance that series, and then he walked away from it. That might have been like Series 7. But anyway, So either way, though, getting back to the point, when it comes to main villains, yes, I do think that someone should have appeared again. But frankly, we don't know who might.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's still time
For all we know, Yeah, no, for all we know, the war, whatever you want to call it, was orchestrated by that one guy in episode 2. The one who has a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah. For all we know, the planet that they're on, it's Earth after that dude became president.
Yeah. Or it's the greaser screwing with history again because
right.
Ryan flung him back in time.
Right. Yeah. Like, I think what happens is they're trying to set up for a lot, which sounds great. The problem is that while I'm okay with setting up for stuff here and there, believe me, I am, it does feel like they left a lot to be like, oh, you might be able to return back one day. And maybe we're just, because we have a critical eye, instead of watching some of the earlier series the way that we did. But it felt like sometimes, like, if I don't know, in many cases, and I talk about older series, in this case I'm still referring to New Who, it felt like every villain, not every, I can't say every, many villains had a close. Some were like, look, we fucking survived, we never talk about this again, we shower, like, we just don't say a word, we're done. You know,
right.
Let's go in the pool, wherever it is, and we'll have a good time. I still feel like the Doctor doesn't know where the pool is in the TARDIS. But anyway, but still, the point, though, is that I think that it felt like most of the time the villains were subdued in some way. And in this case, it feels like the villains are kind of just being let go, and it's like, oh, well, you return one day, and you were thinking, Tristan, maybe that day, and also myself, to be fair, in this season.
Right.
'Tis the season. And no, seemingly that's not the case. And yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little frustrating if this next episode coming up, if it's a Dalek, okay, cool. But regardless of what it is, if it's just some standalone villain, it does feel like we could have had so much more.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we could have had someone, I say standalone villain, like someone brand new.
Right, yeah.
It's like we could have had so much more. We could have had someone who actually was there to kind of bring everything together, sort of. So, for me, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, Tristan. I'm just saying that we don't know enough yet from the teaser, because it really gave us jack shit.
Right, yeah.
That we don't know if, like, this is going to be the like, something huge. Either way, though, another reason why I say, like, oh, it's really hard to build up stuff is because you never know what's going to happen. Now, I don't believe in the rumors. You and I talked about the rumors of Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall leaving. I'm not saying I believe those rumors, but you never know when shit like that can happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Chibnall could get sick, and not like deathly sick, but sick enough that he's like, I can't take on this role for like a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
then
if
it's
something like that, like, yeah, okay, totally, go rest. Like, don't.
No. He should. I'm just saying that, like, anything can happen. So, like, when it comes to, oh, yeah, we're going to set up all these plot points, potentially. Because, again, to me, they seem like characters that are made to appear again.
Right.
Then I'm kind of like, unless we get more of him or any of these characters, these villains, in novels and shit like that, which would be amazing, audio dramas, things like that, big finishes, that'd be cool. But, like, in terms of this series, it would be frustrating if they never appear again due to some unforeseen circumstances. I'm not saying I believe the rumors, but if something were to happen, it would be frustrating if these ideas leave with Chibnall.
Yeah.
Because these were some damn good ideas. Like the greaser guy, I was very interested in what the hell he was doing. It sucked that he couldn't kill because I didn't really enjoy their cat and mouse game. But at the same time, I did enjoy his character. I enjoy the character of the rich. And you know what? We should be fair, by the way, before I talk about how I enjoy his character. I say enjoy in terms of I want to see them again go up against the Doctor. We should also note that yes, there were certain villains that appeared all the time. There were some random assholes who never showed their fucking face across the galaxy again.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That did happen in old Who. I know you haven't seen that much classic Who, but I'm pretty sure there's some people that I'm like, oh, right, yeah, your name was what again? Like just going through like a encyclopedia Doctor was like, I think we've met before? Yeah, we were really mean. Yeah, got to give me more context here. You know? So, we were the fiercest warrior race in the galaxy. Still got to give me more context. Which galaxy?
Right, yeah.
You know? So, the Doctor's met so many different... Yeah. I mean, think about it. If they didn't bring back the Sontarans, they would have died in Classic Who.
Right, yeah.
You know? So, like, I mean, I guess think of it that way, Tristan. At the end of the day, we're really mimicking... We're not just mimicking the educational parts of Classic Who. There are some villains who you will never see again. Accept it, Tool. It's like, Jesus, that hurts.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I also think maybe it's something to do with, like, humanity itself.
Right.
Which, I would like that idea, too.
Yes. I mean, I like it, yes. I do think that it's definitely been in our face throughout all of the episodes. Like, after a while, it's like, okay, I get it, we suck. But, like, because the thing is, the reason why is because this is I'm thinking, yeah, is King James the first time sexism has played a role? I think it has, right? Because because even with in Rosa, no one was like, "How dare you, Doctor?" And they were like, "No, good white woman." Like,
right?
Because I don't think sexism has played a role until King James episode with the witch, right?
I mean, I guess you could argue Kerblam had a little bit with, the corporate dude talking down to one of the women, but that was basically all employees, too.
Yeah. Also because he didn't really do much to the Doctor. Also, the episode with the ship, where it's like, who are you people? But granted, he did that to all of them, not just her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to say, like,
this would be the one where it was predominantly about sexism. Yeah. Yeah.
No, the reason why I say it is because, like, you have people online. Every episode has a white man who's being sexist, and it's like not true. Yes, many of the antagonists are white men, to be fair, but they're not all like these sexist d-bags. Like, it was just King James.
To be fair, where's the lie?
Yeah, right. It was just. I mean, for these guys, yeah, pretty much. For these guys that are, that are in the episodes, yeah. But what I'm trying to get at, though, Tristan, is that when it came to King James, he was the only one that was sexist. Like that guy that wrote the Bible or whatever. He was the one that he was. I mean, in fact, that's what's interesting. I'm shocked more people aren't offended at that. I kind of feel upset. I'm like, hey, Doctor Who's big enough for you guys to be offended.
Yeah.
Like the Christians. I'm like, Pokemon were just monsters, and y'all were saying they were the devil. That's the guy who wrote the Bible over there. Get offended. Like, now I feel now I feel upset. What, is our hobby not good enough for you to get offended? Like, you have the King James Bible in your church. Why are you not offended?
Yeah.
Like, I used to go to church, and I'm pretty sure they had the King James Bible or some, like, abridged version of the King James Bible, like, around.
Right.
So it's just kind of funny. Like, I haven't heard one complaint about
one
King James
about that. Right.
Yeah. But I'm sure there has to be someone somewhere that was like, hey, but, like, I haven't heard anyone.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't like what you've done to King James. And it's like, fair, I guess. But I don't know. But anyway, so I'm thinking, I don't know. Like, I just feel, it feels weird, to have that be the only one. Because in my head I was like, were there more? Because people have been saying it. But no, there's only been that one. I have to admit, though, the dad, I think, was too much. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just they didn't think it would come off that D-bagly, like, dickish. Mm-hmm. But, like, even the characters were like, I want to punch him in the face. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, that one was even too much, where I'm like, God, I just don't want him to survive. Like,
right,
I'd sit her down. I'd be like, let me explain to you why life is better. I'd have Ryan come in. Like, hey, let me explain to you why life is better without a dad.
Well, yeah. Well, that was kind of like what, I mean, Ryan kind of made a snap judgment at first, but he turned out to be right in a way. It's like, oh, maybe he just ran off. Ryan, like, be a little more sensitive about it. Just because your dad ran away doesn't mean everyone's dad runs it. Fuck.
By the way, they should have mentioned that because I feel like he didn't have time to explain himself. Like, no, it's not about your dad.
Yeah.
It's about every male role model in my life.
Right. Yeah, I feel like him and the girl should have had a moment where they could have talked about that, but, you know, flesh-eating moths, which was cool and terrifying. I think that's one of my biggest issues, was that there's been so many cool ideas. And, like, I mean, we've kind of said this already, too, but, like, there were a lot of cool ideas, background ideas, but they're only used for, like, little things here and there.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, so what you're saying, okay, never mind. I was about to say something, but you know what? No, great point. Because even something like the silence in the library, like, you know, the Vasha Narada.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite monsters ever.
They were the entire episode's villain.
I mean,
they weren't like.
Right.
No, but I'm saying
something
they
like
were.
them made sense to just be in one episode because it was a specific planet. It was their forest. It was that library.
Right. No. But what I'm saying, Tristan, is they were the main villain. Where you're like, these moths are intense, and they're barely in the episode.
Right. Yeah.
Where it would be like, the silence.
The alien assassins. Granted, they turned a new leaf, and they're the only two who are still alive. But like, they were really cool. They were only a small part of that episode.
They have to get finger puppets or something. They have to do some kind of rebranding because they look like, I don't care what they tell me, we're here to witness your death, to be with you. Honestly, dude, you look like I'm looking over at King James. Do you see these devils?
This might be xenophobic, but you look like you're here to eat my corpse after I die.
Essentially, no, we're here to witness.
Well,
I still feel like you're a part of
that
this.
About it, we won't witness your death, and you can die alone, ass.
Thank you. Thank you. No, because if I'm dying, the last thing I want to see is them looking at me like, are you comfortable?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think you actually see them. It's just more of like a cosmic thing. Like, you weren't alone during your death. You may have felt like it, but someone was there. Someone witnessed you.
Okay,
and you
because
didn't
other
have to
people
spray silver paint on your face and scream, "Witness me," and die in a fiery explosion.
Because other people definitely saw them. That's why I'm like, if I saw them.
I mean, that's fair. But it was also the people that were killing him that saw him. Well,
fair.
Okay, no, you're right. The doctor and everybody was walking away, but they didn't stay to watch. They're like, we need to leave, or else they're going to shoot us too.
Exactly. So, but anyway, but yeah, I have no problem with humanity being the problem. The problem is that if that's the overarching plot, that's the bad wolf. Humanity's the problem. What's the fucking solution? Doctor's like, you know what? Let's just push this button right here. Earth's destroyed. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh Jesus. Could you imagine if that was the turnaround? The doctor's just like, well, it finally happened. It took X amount of regenerations, but I finally don't care about you guys anymore. I've tried so hard, and I've gotten so far, but in the end, you're all still assholes. No, that would destroy Doctor Who. That would destroy the series. But just for a second, you just have that moment of the doctor, I was working for Hydra the whole time.
I don't know why. Do you know what you were quoting for most of that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, no, because if you didn't, because here's what it came off as: the doctor regenerates. You gotten so far, in the end, it doesn't. Wait, no, that's Linkin Park. Sorry. Instead of the Lion King. Wait, no, that's Linkin Park.
It's just Yaz and Ryan looking at each other does she know what? No, she can't. She must.
Yeah, right? Graham is like,
what are you two talking about?
Is that poetry? No, Graham, that's not poetry.
Hi, just it is.
No, but he's thinking it's like a famous poet because that's who the Doctor always fucking quotes.
Yeah.
But you know what? No, thank you, Tristan. That's a great point. Not even about villains coming back, like larger villains. Just interesting, cool concepts that kind of just fall to the wayside. And not that you could say that they don't get, because yes, these beings, because they're not part of, they got lost in there, but they are not made from that consciousness, so they could eventually appear in the show again at any year, at any point.
Right.
Because they're just flesh-eating moths.
Yeah, the consciousness. Like, holy shit. You have another entire universe that apparently has this whole deal with having, they had to remove it from our universe so that we, everything wouldn't destroy itself. And it's just been sitting out there. And
but that's too OP.
You guys are hearing about this?
Okay, no, but you can't do that because we've done that so many times before. That's just how the show works.
Right, exactly.
Thankfully, this time it was so OP, so overpowered, but they made sure to write it out of existence. Because sometimes other shows just like don't do shit like that. Like not other shows, other episodes of Doctor Who where the Doctor would be like, "Okay, but are you going to be nice?" "Yeah." "Okay, go sauntering off." "No, Doctor, you can't have that in the universe." I'm not saying you kill it, but like you can't have that in the universe. So in this case, it actually was really smart of them to just have the consciousness just be like, "Well, okay, goodbye."
Right.
Like that's because you can't have that at the Doctor's side. Doctor would just make a call. "Hello? Yes? Are you still a frog?" "Still a frog." "Cool. Can you just like erase that?" "Awesome."
Can we hang out?
Yeah, right?
Oh, and that was the other thing to me. So when the Doctor was talking to the consciousness as a frog.
Yes.
Holy crap. But this form pleases me. I'm like, okay.
No, it's one of those things where it's like, I'd rather you be like a giant tentacle monster who says like, "I love Japanese women," rather than being a frog right now. For some reason, that's so much creepier.
I mean,
the frog was creepy.
Okay,
I don't know why.
Okay, then.
I'm not. There's something about the frog.
All right.
There's something about the frog. No, because like at least a giant tentacle monster, you're like, okay, that's a problem.
No, giant eyeballs were the last two series, Matt. Come on.
Again, you know what the problems are. They're looking at me. But in this case, having a frog, I'm like, also just the phrase, "This form pleases me." I think that's what did it.
It's just like Suzaku, "I will now pleasure myself with this fish." You ate it! Oh, God.
No, it's the frog. "This form pleases me." So you could change forms. Are you Satan? Like, damn it. How did you even get here?
Oh, my God. Yeah, how are you even here right now? I scanned your memory. The fuck?
That's really funny.
But, like, just having this whole other universe and that's never going to play a part in anything again.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know.
Again, it's too much. It's way too much responsibility.
It's too powerful to have pop up again, but like, I don't know, just like the Doctor being like, "I have to say goodbye now. I just found a talking universe with its own conscience, and I had to walk away from it." Like, I could feel her disappointment, and like, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
But, okay.
One thing
that's what I wanted to ask you. So I had two things from that scene immediately after I watched it. I'm like, I feel a romantic connection between this universal consciousness frog and the Doctor. And also that, at least to me, that kind of felt like, now this is another like side of humanity thing, and like, is this an allegory for love? Being able to let go of someone? And
yes. dude, it was
I'm
was literally
that's
she's
hitting
looking
hard. Like they're
because
really
the doctor,
hitting hard on this.
Yeah, no, because the doctor, she's literally looking at the camera. It's in our face, which you could say,
Right,
someone
yeah.
could say out there, hey, man, it was a bit too heavy-handed. And I get it, but I still liked it because it is a nice lesson, not just to teach kids, but again, to talk to adults, to talk to anyone. Like, it's a good lesson to teach them, like, hey, listen, look, if you love me, you have to let me go. This is literally ruining us. We will either we both die here or we both live separately, and maybe one day I can find you, but either way, what matters is that right now you have to just let go so you can live and be your best self. And then,
Right.
like, with the consciousness saying, like, I will remember you. In my dreams, I will think of you, and you will be happy. I was like, oh, my God. So
Right,
glad.
yeah. No,
Why are
it's
you
definitely,
wrong?
like, a healthy lesson, and I'm, like, glad they went that route.
Yeah. See, and
Yeah,
that's another
I
thing,
guess
too, that I kind of enjoyed. Like, yes,
Right.
it is the villain, to be fair, and I don't think it was a bait and switch. I think it really was the villain, and that's okay. Not like the moths are the villain, but not this. No, I think this truly was the villain. It's just that, like, I was okay with it not being like, but I will take you down with me, Doctor, dun, dun, dun. Like, I was
Right.
okay with for once. Like, I will admit, if this happens throughout all of Whittaker's run, yes, this will become played out because just like any series with a certain type of either theme or certain recurring episode types, yes, it will hurt the run if it turns out more of the monsters are really not monsters all along. Let's not kill them. This is our good run of Undertale. We can't kill any of them. Like, I don't want
I mean, to be fair,
that.
I feel like the Doctor tries to do that run all the time, but has not
But that's
been able to do it successfully.
Yeah, no. Like, again, I'm not looking for Whittaker's Doctor. I'm not looking for 13 to eventually. I'm not looking for the family of blood treatment every single fucking episode.
Right.
In fact, I thought that was too much. You know, like I'm good. I just feel like
I was pretty okay with that. Not gonna lie.
Dude, like, but no, I had a problem with it because it was like the Doctor. It was like if Batman was like, hey, I have a code. I'm not going to murder you, but this machine will continuously break your leg every time it heals. Like, holy shit, just kill him. Just kill him, you dick.
It's kind of like the quote unquote evil run in Batman's Telltale series. No, in Telltale's Batman series, where it's like, oh, you could just, scare the dude into giving you the information, or you could break both of his legs to get the information.
No, but the thing is, at least they heal again. I'm talking about like the way the Doctor sealed these people up in the way he did it. It was kind of like the Batman literally saying, this machine breaks your leg, then it heals naturally with the help of the machine eventually, not like immediately, with the help over time, and then it breaks your leg again. It's like, at this point, just kill him. You're being a dick. Like, it's fine that Batman says, I don't kill, but I hurt, yes, but I don't kill, because you can recover from broken legs. But it's so much different if Batman's just like, I'm going to break your arm, or I'm going to pop your arm out of its socket, then the machine will pop it back into place, then the machine will rip it out, then the machine will pop it back into place. It's like, dude, why is he even alive? Is this really a life? Like, what are you doing? That's what I'm trying to say. So, like, with the Family of Blood, it felt very similar. So, where it was just like Tennant, like, oh, I'm not going to kill you. I don't kill. But, like, he did all that, and I was like, really? But my point, though, is, Tristan, is that I'm not saying that people have to get murdered or be tortured, but it does feel like, I'm thinking, has every bad guy in this series lived? I mean, the one dude technically died, but it wasn't the Doctor's fault in Kablam.
Right.
But other than that...
Oh, well, no, the first dude.
He didn't die. He was just sent back to his...
I thought he got vaporized.
No, I thought he got sent back to his race, and then they were going to kill him. If he got vaporized, then hell yeah, my bad.
Well, I think he blew up.
Well, either way, good for him. But still, good that he's going places, literally everywhere, and like splattered. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just
so
saying
I think
that like
one
it has
or two have, but yeah, the majority of the villains in this series have
gotten a pat on the head,
kind of,
or they got angrily.
All right, go back to where you came from.
Or they were angrily told off.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's fine too. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want the Doctor to go on a killing spree anytime soon, but like.
No. But still, but yeah, so I think my only issue, well, not my only, but my biggest issue with episode 9 was that it really did, like, putting aside the fact that the dad was a complete piece of shit who probably should have gotten eaten by those moths, I just feel as if, why did he not get eaten in the first place? Like, the first time you get through that is like, oh my god, I can't believe I did it. But then how'd you make the trip back? I mean, yeah, like, because it can't, in that dimensional space, in that weird ante, whatever they called it, it can't protect him in there.
It was like the buffer. They were calling it a buffer zone. Yeah.
No, it was the anti-something.
Okay.
The anti-zone? Was it really that? Oh God, it might have been. So the anti-zone, it can't go in there. And I don't think it could, like, and it was faking it, like it literally couldn't leave even if it wanted to. That was the whole point. It was banished there.
Yeah,
so
they were just projections. I don't think they were actual, like, physical beings that could leave that universe. It was a projection of what the, universal consciousness was showing them.
Exactly. And then that becomes the issue because he should have gotten eaten one of the times. Hell, that dude should have been like, oh, I'm hungry, fuck yeah. The one guy that was living there?
Yeah.
Not sure how he got trapped there. He said how he got trapped there, but it was still space jargon.
Yeah.
The balloon, or like the lantern. It looked like a red balloon from It. And I was like, this is creepy. The episode was upsetting. It was a little disturbing in some ways, but I think looking at both back to back, I think that they probably should have spread them out, because putting 8 right before 9, it makes 9 feel like it pales in comparison when you're comparing it from the horror aspect.
I guess.
I don't know, because when you watch both back to back, because that's what I did. Not sure if you did, and I see 8, and I'm like, dude, this thing is fucking terrifying. 9 didn't feel that way.
For me, that moment where the dude that was guiding them at first got eaten inside and out by the moths. I mean, CG, but they turned him into a skeleton.
Yeah, no, when I saw. Yes, because I wasn't scared only because I was like, oh, good, they could run away now. So maybe I'm the one that's a horrible person. But because I was like, someone needs to be a distraction. And then he was just like, I'm going to get that because it's like, no, that's not going to help you against the moths. And now you're dead. My biggest issue with episode 8, the thing that really got me, that I was like, this is why it might not be. I want it to be my favorite episode, but this really hurt me. The fact that, and I don't know if you noticed this, Tristan, but it seemed like they kept on repeating things over and over. Like if the same page from the script was just copy-pasted.
Okay. How exactly do you mean?
Okay. So, I am going to destroy you all by summoning the king. Oh, no. 2 minutes later, why am I here? I am going to destroy you all by summoning the king. You just said that. Why did you say it twice? The king was there. It's not like King James wasn't there. King James was there both times. Before he was kidnapped and after he was kidnapped. She made the same speech twice. Within the span of 2 minutes, because they were there, then they got knocked out, then they woke up being like, whoa, shit, And then it jumped to King James being at the tree. And he's just like, why am I here? And I'm like, bro, you were like right there. Like, you're sexist. You're not deaf. Right? That doesn't affect your hearing or your comprehension unless, if a woman is talking, but like she was supposed to be the devil, so he was all ears for the devil. You see what you see what I mean? Like, it happened a few different times where like they said a thing, and it wasn't even like they said some crazy technological thing. I don't know. They say a thing, and this was just in episode 8 that I noticed it. You say the thing, and it's as if you didn't get it the first time. It was then said again, and I'm like, you guys like just said that though. And it's not like they're talking to a new character, like, when, saying to Yaz, like, oh, King James is here. King James? Yeah, we'll explain that later. Like, that's fine. But instead of just doing that, it was kind of like they had to, like, re-explain certain things. And not over and over, but it just happened, like, 2 times, and I'm like, we don't have enough time here for me to hear the same plan or the same grievance twice to the same person. Because it was just odd. I don't know why it happened that way. Maybe they meant to cut it out or something. I don't know. But I just sat there and I was like, "What are you doing? You just say the exact same thing twice, just like I've been doing." So Houdini. I knew the Doctor was gonna fucking mention Houdini. Why is the Doctor not in those chains? I'm like, she fucking hung out with Houdini.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
And then she said it, and I was like, God damn it! I knew she was gonna make a Houdini reference. Because why wouldn't she?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
the one
it was
that
funny.
Yeah.
It was, as soon as she got chained in and dunked, I'm like, so she's getting out of that, right?
Just a certain subsection of people across the world were like, maybe we get a regeneration.
Oh my God.
A small subsection of people despite the fact that I want to let everybody know, I don't care how much you dislike Doctor Who. I care why you dislike Doctor Who. If we can have a conversation about it, but like, I don't care how much if you dislike it due to the fact that Whittaker's a woman or you think that it's too progressive and SJW. I don't care. What I do care about is this: if we had Jodie Whittaker regenerate in an episode, we would know who that Doctor is and the next 3 Doctors like yesterday. We're not gonna have her regenerate mid-episode. Although I have to admit, I want that to happen like once to a Doctor, because that shit would throw everything. You want to do something different?
Oh God.
No, you want to do something different? Just have a last episode, and have it be like of a season. Just same way with like Eccleston, but have it be filmed on a set in a similar way, like how the regeneration happened to the TARDIS, and just have him, her, them regenerate, and that'll be some shit. Like, that'll be interesting. Like, no one will see that fucking coming. I want to do something new. Anyway, what was I going to say to you? Did you notice the line that Yaz said that I giggled uncontrollably at in episode 9? That she said to the Doctor about helping things work out.
Oh, maybe.
She said, well, "How about we reverse the polarity?" And I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yes, because I literally looked over at my mom and she started laughing too. I'm like, that's always the answer.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh my God.
Yes, you're speaking.
She hasn't seen as much of New as I have, but she's like been trying to catch up with like series and like repeats and stuff like that. So even she like looked over like, yes, I've seen enough to know that's been reoccurring, and that's hilarious.
I just lost. So has she seen older Doctor Who or no?
Yeah, she saw a bit of classic with me. When Twitch was doing their showing of like classic over the summer, we were both watching it together a lot.
Oh, okay. No, I'm only asking because like in my head I'm like, oh, she may have seen like the 3rd Doctor, not like when it aired, but like in general throughout the years.
Yeah, actually no, I think both my parents saw it, like not like strict like not religiously, like, but they saw some of the fourth Doctor, I believe.
Yeah, then I don't remember if Baker said reverse the polarity of the neutron flow, because that's something that like the third was like he shit all the time. It was like, Doctor, I have to use the bathroom. Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. That'll help. Fucking Doctor, I'm hungry. Have you tried reversing the polarity on the neutron flow? 'Cause that might. No, like that's just what he said, like all the fucking time. So when she's like, "How about we reverse the polarity?" I was like, "Yes, yes." And then the doctor would be like, "Yes, you." Or she said her full name. You speak my language.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
See, that's what I want in Doctor Who. Little stuff like that. Like we don't need to have like a Dalek, Cybermen, fucking Sontaran invasion every year. All I need to hear is those little tiny references.
Right, yeah. Oh, no, I love those, too. Like, that was definitely, oh, God, that was probably that may be the best line that I've heard in an episode so far.
Yeah. No, it was just really fun. And I think, I don't know, like, and the reason why I say we don't need, like, those huge invasions is because, like, dude, like, we got them so much with Moffat that, like, we can take a break. I just wanted something big to occur in episode 10, but I don't, like, his thing with Moffat is, like, it didn't matter if it was Christmas, it didn't matter if it was the middle of a season, the end of a season, the first episode. It felt like the word invasion was, like, it was, like, his thing. He enjoyed it a lot, if you get my drift.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good. Because I didn't want to say the word fetish on air. Anyway, so he did it anyway. Oh, the madman. No, but seriously though. No, but seriously. Well, actually, so here's another thing too. My issue with, as we're kind of wrapping this up a little bit, here's my issue with 9 as well, and tell me if you agree, disagree. It's not even like the consciousness thing was interesting, because it was. I think it was just, not that it came out of nowhere, but I think like I was like, oh, a portal to like another world? Is it like a mirror world? Like I was hoping it would be like a mirror world where, like I guess you could argue that is the twist, not just the fact that there was no huge demon, that it's like, oh, it's a mirror world where like in this world he died, but the issue is, of course, that would be way too much like the world that Rose eventually went to live in.
Right, yeah, the parallel universe.
Yeah, and frankly, I am kind of happy they didn't go there, because like, you see what I mean? Like, I feel like if they did go there, people would, and I think even I would say like, oh, it's too much like you're copy pasting a script, and it's not like that happened that long ago. Like, I got to be real. Anything that happened in Classic Who, y'all can do it again. It's been long enough. You know, like
right.
anything that happened in Classic Who, y'all can do it again. It's been years. But when it comes to New Who, it's like I still feel like maybe it's because it's only been like 10 years, a little over 10 years, but like I don't feel like we should be reusing stuff that happened there. That's just my take. Also, I'm super happy that it wasn't Heaven, because in an episode that was right after Witches from Hell and shit like that, I was like, please don't let this be Heaven, because remember that Moffat tried that. Is this Heaven or is this Wi-Fi, said my grandpa. Like, I just feel like that's kind of what happened, though, and it was just really, it was odd.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy that it wasn't,
Ryan's lines that I love, too. It's like, you set up, a speaker and made monster noises, you should have just gotten Wi-Fi. That would have kept her inside, no problem.
Which is funny, but also, like, yeah, I mean, pretty much. That is true. One thing that I found interesting.
Obviously, not all kids are like that.
Well, also because, like, yeah. I mean, well, actually, no. He could have gotten her Wi-Fi and, like, a Braille, like, companion tool of some type, yeah. No, because my thing is, I know what I do on the internet. I watch shit, or I read shit.
Right, yeah.
So that's why I'm like, Ryan. But no, if he would have actually gotten her, like, a Braille attachment, definitely. No, like, he probably just should have fucking done that. Holy shit. Like, why did you move there? You definitely don't have Wi-Fi there. They definitely do not have good internet where they are.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. So what I was going to say though is what's interesting is that how I don't like. It's not that she had like superpowers because she's blind. The little girl, like, or the teenage girl, like, oh, this isn't my mom because my other senses are heightened. But at the same time, it definitely I think was a thing like she's just able to like maybe like like oh that's my mom's perfume or like oh that like this is the warmth of my mom's hug. And I think maybe that potentially mixed along with the fact that perhaps, and I'm just putting this out there as like a fan Kennedy thing, the universe can only attach itself to one person. Not, when I say one person, I mean one projection per person.
Right.
Perhaps. Like it's like the projection of Nan was like, oh, I need to please Graham.
Right.
And it's like, oh no, but Ryan, he's not the one that I'm attached to.
Right, yeah.
And that's why she was just like, oh yeah, Ryan who? And it's just like, yeah, no, you're not her.
Right.
Like, I wonder if that's what it is as well. Granted, it seemed like the mom was okay with the daughter, but you could just tell, I don't know, there's something about it, the daughter, but I don't think it was a whole blind thing, because I don't think they want to go that route. I just think it was more so like,
I mean,
she's not, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a daughter being able to tell instinctively, like, you may look, well, okay, not look, but, you may sound like her. I know just by the way, well,
there's something off.
The thing is, there's something off about you. And I mean also, just the idea, it's like, I know my mother died, there's no way that, death is a permanent thing. It's not something that you come back from.
Yeah.
Like, in that respect. But also, I've heard in passing, like, I don't know if it's true for everybody, I don't know, anything hugely specific, but I know that there are other senses, like if you are blind, like there's another kind of sense that you, like from living things that you feel.
Yes. I only brought it up because, like, what I said is because, like, you also don't want to make her seem like she's a superpowered person either, like a daredevil just because she's blind. But you're right, though. That can happen to some people,
like,
yes.
Yeah. It's not like it's a superpower or anything. It's just it's another sense that your body kind of develops or your mind develops.
Yeah, and she's been blind all her life.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
She said it, yeah.
Right,
because Ryan was like, oh, I'm sorry, and she's like, don't fucking patronize me.
Right, yeah, don't be. It hasn't stopped me.
Yeah, right. You're a stupid oafish man who's a She's like, you're a stupid oafish man who's a thug, and he's like, thank you. First time on all of these adventures that someone's called me that, and it's not because I'm black. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you. No, because like King James was like, ooh, I bet you're good at torture, and I'm like, that's racist.
Yeah, but it's King James, so yeah, of course it's gonna be. Oh, yeah. When
just looking
King
in the bag.
Looks over and it's like, and you, and I'm like, oh no, please don't.
But apparently King James was into him at the end, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was interesting. That I enjoyed. I was like, it sucks that here's the reason why I enjoyed it. Hear me out, right? Everyone's like, wait, what? Why? Here's the thing. I'm okay. Like, it's one of those things where, like, maybe some people in the LGBTQ plus community are like, we would like better role models first before any role model, like any person who is,
that's fair.
which is fair. But at the same time, I also feel like it does become a strange thing in media. In any case, if so there was at one point in many different forms of media, every person who was a person of color was. Not every, but a majority, more than, were thuggish or were violent or were criminals. But then I believe an overcorrection happened, and now in something that I believe is a overused trope in media now is the young African-American nerd. Now that's been overused because at one point it was like, oh, these kids are thugs on the street, and to try to overcorrect, now anytime, like I've seen a bunch of different like either like shows that are meant for kids that have African American kids in them, and then they become the nerd with the glasses and the trapper keeper.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that we could just have characters who are just diverse in a sense. So in this case, it's like, yeah, King James is an asshole. He's even sexist and he's racist. But apparently, he also likes some of that. So, like, because the thing is, we don't need King James to be coming around like, I like men and also everyone else. Yay, King James, yay. Like, just be, he's saying like, he doesn't, because that's the issue is what you have if you go that route, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, is that person, oh, Matt, are you playing a Hispanic person? Well, as a Hispanic person, I am. Great, then you're amazing. Well, no, does my character have flaws? None that we can see. Well, like, I mean, I can play a character with flaws. Great, then he has a coke problem. Hey, fuck you. That's a Scarface thing. Don't fucking do that. They're like, well, okay, maybe. Like, well, then maybe we pick something else. Yeah, pick something else. I can have flaws, but like, Jesus.
Jeez. Yeah, right. Okay.
Hey, but you see what I mean, though, right? Like, flaws, not the ones that are stereotypical, but like flaws can create a character. So like having him potentially, seemingly, you could argue this is a Grindelwald situation, but seemingly he's into Ryan because he said, come back to London with me. You can protect me. And there was this look, and everyone gave the look. Like, that was a weird one because that one, there was more confirmation of his sexuality in that minute than of Dumbledore in 2 fucking movies.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And they didn't even say it technically. He used a term that you could think, but at least they filmed everyone's reaction around him that's just like, oh, he's using protect to, like, fuck. Like, at least they all understood. Like, no one was like, oh, well, he could have meant anything by that. Like, no, everyone gave that look. It's like, yo, like, he wants to protect that dick. Like, and that's okay because everyone understood that's what was happening. Right. Tristan stopped laughing because I broke him. I was waiting for the one joke that you either laugh hysterically or you're like, cannot compute. So anyway, but seriously though, I'm okay with that. Explain. Jesus Christ. Just a Dalek. What did you mean by protect that dick?
Oh my God.
Anyway. Back to what
Matt, it would just translate to exterminate.
My God. No, just I imagine someone saying that. Imagine King James saying that shit in the suit, and it just comes out as exterminate.
Oh,
it's like, wait, what? Anyway, listen. We need to get back on some kind of semblance of a track here.
This is fair.
No, but I'm happy that his character was a multifaceted character. Yes, someone can just take everything at face value, but he's just another white man who's this and this. But I do think that we can look at it in multiple different ways. Also, I hate that the dad has a similar jacket that I do. You don't deserve that jacket. Fuck off. Let go of you. Like, no, he's hugging his daughter. Like, it's okay now, baby. Next time I'll let you go and do that to you. It'll be over a new woman. It won't be about your mom. Anyway, I don't know. You know what it is? I think maybe it's because they said they wanted to hit him. It just didn't play it off as like as sympathetically as it could have been. Because there are certain series of Doctor Who where they would have played that shit off with like him crying and like this like tearing of the soul when it happened. But because they had to juxtapose it with Graham and Nan, I was like, that's so sad. I look over to the dad, and I'm like, and fuck you, too. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, because I think some episodes have done shit like that where like it's been like heartbreaking.
Right.
But this one, it just felt very selfish, and I don't know why it felt so selfish.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's just the idea that he put his own. Like, yes, he's grieving about his wife, but he put that above his own daughter. And he like, at least from, what I know of people, any two people that have had a child together and, were happily together and that family was happy, like, you would always put your child's, well-being and health and happiness over them in the end.
Yeah,
like,
even
if that's what it came to.
Yeah, even families that weren't that happy, like my mom and dad got a divorce, but they both put me first. Just
right, yeah.
away from each other. Just away from
right.
each other. But yeah, so it was just so odd that
so it
they did
really
that.
leave like, wow, granted, hopefully from this point on he will heal and they will be better and everything will be okay, which is good. Like, that's a good thing. You know like, hopefully he can be a better person in the future.
Yes, I think it's also just the fact that like even not putting aside the fact that she's blind, but just adding on another layer. She's a blind teenage girl in the woods who's also lost her mom.
Yeah.
And he instead of maybe Wait, was that?
No, it's like she's been through a lot. Like, you don't need to add daddy issues on top of that list now.
Yeah, by having him leave her at different points, and then saying like, "Oh, I stayed in here too long, because what happens if I can't come back?" It's just like, what would happen to your daughter? Like, you know what it is too. I don't think they actually, even though yes, the hologram, whatever you want to call the projection, is trying to help pleasure. Like, oh, I'll do anything you want, anything. By the way, they must have had an amazing marriage because, like, I'm not trying to make a shitty marriage joke. I'm just being dead serious here. He could have asked her for literally anything, and if she had said yes, he'd be like, that's strange. Jane never said yes to, making me coffee at home. No, but, like, you have to have such a good marriage to the point where, like, a hologram that's trying to do anything it can to appease you, no matter what you do, it wants to do that too. I know he's grieving, but like, you would think, like again with Graham, he's grieving, but it's like, whoa, you don't care about Ryan? No.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what matters. Just the fact that like you're leaving your teenage daughter who's blind alone in the woods with bears, but don't worry because the creepy monster sounds will help her. You just I feel like the doctor needs to ring Child Protective Services from literally any time period. Like, I don't care what year she's in. She just needs to call them and be like, yeah, there's like this Norwegian family in the woods. Could you just like do something about that?
Right.
Anyway, either way though, out of both episodes, I think 8, I put that higher than 9. Dad shouldn't have lived, and I don't even mean that from like a he should die perspective. Like, he should have gotten through that weird anti-zone every time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the horror in 8 more. Now, as we wrap this up, to you, Tristan, which one did you like more?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I must have. I guess I'd have to go with 8 because it just, as much as like, the not believing anyone and killing people because you're a witch and the rampant sexism, like, it still felt like fun, like a fun episode.
Yeah. Because
like,
this one felt depressing.
Like historical figures,
right.
But also aliens, but also, things work out in the end, that kind of thing. And like, she even changes King James a little bit. Not a lot. Obviously, history still plays its course, but like, just the fact that she got him to think a little bit about it, like to reevaluate himself, just even the slightest bit.
Exactly. And in episode 9, yes, it ends with a beautiful note, and I think the message, like I would love for this to be Jodie Whittaker's like big speech moment.
Right.
Like her speech at the end. I think that's her big speech moment. Yes, she can have one, a bigger one in anger, but I also like that there's one in love and compassion.
Yeah. Right.
So I respect that. The problem is that it's wrapped around in an episode where I don't think the dad deserves as much compassion compared to what he was saying and doing versus the kind he actually got.
Right.
Like, but think about it. That speech went to a universe, not to the dad.
Yeah.
You know, it's as far as we know, it wasn't like putting a spell on him. Yes, it was appeasing him, but it didn't actually put an actual spell over his eyes officially. So at the end of the day, we actually have to sit back and be like, so he did this all of his own free will, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's, I think, the issue. If they had pushed it home, or like push it a little bit more, push it a little bit harder, that, he couldn't control himself, yes, some would say that abandons free will, but still, I think that makes him more of a sympathetic character about him grieving over his wife.
Right.
Instead of leaving the daughter, alone in the woods to fend for herself for, in some cases, hours on end, but in this case it was days on end, with no actual beast, but the threat of a beast. And hell, like, who says that she wouldn't have gone into the room and fell into it anyway, in some way or another?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, she's, and also just the explanation. She's a teenager. She could take care of herself. She can, but, like, dude, you're not in the big city where she can go to a fucking supermarket if she needs to. You're in the fucking woods with bears, you dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so next week, episode 10, which is also the season finale, will we be able to do it before the official Doctor Who Wednesday date? I don't know. Tristan and I will have to talk about that next week. But if we do, you can find it.
Words?
What was that?
Will I use my words?
Don't know. I also don't know what you just said, but I don't know. But what I do know
will our predictions come true? What will happen?
Find out on the next episode. Yes, right.
I know.
Quote unquote.
Next
yeah. Well, it's fine.
Blue Ball Z.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, Doctor Who is finished because it's airing. It's like the last episode of the series is airing next week, so it is finished. Yes, until the new special.
Doctor Who the movie, Super Broly.
My God. No, it'd be like no. It would be. Oh God, it would be Doctor Who, Super Master or something like that. Doctor Who Super Master. And it's just like a remake. Or no, it'd be like the Valyard. Anyway, so, or like, God, what was his name? Fuck. Not Omega. Oh, God. Or actually, no, it might have been Omega. Anyway,
Shenron?
Point though is, yeah, right, Shenron. No, point is, Tristan, is that if they do want to know what we're doing next week, if we're doing this earlier than on Wednesday, a special like Monday edition or something like that, or a Tuesday edition, they could actually go over to our Facebook, which is facebook.com/thoseguysontherradio. We would post the episode there, or the announcement of the episodes coming out that night live, or you can go over to our Twitter, which is @thoseguysradio. You can tweet at us, talk to us about some fun stuff, maybe some of your predictions, rumors, things like that. Also, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, of course, do that down below as well. We would love to hear what you guys have to say and think about these episodes, about this series. Even if you disagree with us, that's fine, as long as we keep it civil. But again, not civil war, just civil. And also, you can go over to our website, tgproduction.net, and find all updates there about shows that we're doing in the near future. And yeah, I'm actually surprised that, I guess because it is 10 and not 12 episodes, out of nowhere, it's like, wow, doing 2 here, doing 3 there, all of a sudden it's like, wait, has it really been the entire season of Doctor Who already? Like, holy shit, dude. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, can't wait for next week. I know we seem a little bit underhyped due to the fact that, we hoped that it would be bigger in some way. But again, not knowing a lot is also a good thing too, because I would rather not know what's going to happen next week rather than get a huge teaser. Granted, some of the clips, I think, just process of elimination from the teaser that we got earlier this year, the trailer, I'm sure some of those clips are probably going to be in this episode. Like some of the stuff that looks more like a factory that we haven't gotten yet. Yeah. But still, I'm really interested. Hope you guys are too. Thank you all so much for listening in, as always. And, anything you want to say before we officially wrap up, Tristan?
Have you tried reversing the polarity?
Yeah, but then I get a little gassy. It's just the whole thing, man. You know.
You tried reversing the podcast?
No, it's like, have you tried reversing the polarity after that? It's like, I did. It was great.
Reverse the podcast for a secret message. Oh, gasp.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Actually, nope, I'm King James. That's Satan. Anyway, so, love you all. Take care. And tune in next time for another episode of Doctor Who Wednesday that might not even be on a Wednesday. All right, guys, so gasp. See ya.